Duong Han Han Protection Campaign and arrange to contact them. In the process of negotiation, doesn't need a lot of participants, as the salary is allowed to be observed on the side. Others are not necessary. You should avoid it so as not to raise suspicions. Zhuo asked the others. Listen to the conversation between the two without making a sound. Everyone has no opinion about this. Trong Yi decided will conduct communication with the people of the base. Sunflower in the living room. Others sit on both sides, carrying the urgency and waiting. The conversation began. Yang Han Han opened his computer. Send a chat request through the address on the red paper. Then put the computer on the tea table. The screen is towards the translation. The call took a long time. About 3 minutes later, there was a response. A woman's voice cracked. Trong Yip smiled coldly. I am Trong Yip. The other end of the line was silent for a moment and said, You are the enemy. Leadership of the surrounding organization. From acoustics and manner defects. Ask yourself who you are. A. I am a red trainer. Leader of the disaster shelter of the Pacific Rim. Our men are sent to the far red materials factory. Is it because of you or not? The satellite phone was detected. There's no need to deny, whether you admit it or not. The local war with the Yangtze base. It will start sooner or later. So Zhang Yi did not deny. The young man asked again, people who were arrested yesterday at the trauma. That's what your people do, isn't it? Zhao Hong listened to Trong Yi's stitch answer, then asked again. So you admit it? The doctor also responded. In theory, that's what you do. Although no one directly answers the opponent's question. But silence was the most obvious answer. In the office of the Yangtze base, Red Pepper trains the eyes full of color. You dare to kill my people. In the whole city of Tianhai, no one has ever dared to attack our base. You have found your own way to die. But Zhang Yi only smiled contemptuously. That sounds very familiar. People used to tell me that. It has become dust. Yes, you may have heard his name. His name is Chen Xin. The Red Pepper's eyes became sharp. Really kill the wind of the Tay Sun base. It's connected to this mysterious force. How strong is he after all? When we talk about force, Tai Sen base is the most powerful place in Tianhai City. If Zhang Yi could destroy the Tay Sun base, then clearly he can destroy their base as well. However, training is not completely scary. Before Trong Yi, she said, you think I'm just a 3-year-old kid. Tay Sun base was destroyed by a few Kier missiles. You want to take all the credit for yourself. That's a little too high. Zhang Yi laughed so coldly. You used to think, why there's a surprise rocket. Attack on Tay Sun base, or not. The tone of the Red Pepper becomes slow. More serious expression. That's right, that night. All the powers in Tianhai City, they're all shot up by missiles from the north. Make them panic. They have no way of contacting the higher-ups, and it doesn't shed light on the truth behind this event. So Zhang Yi's way of talking makes you think Kier missile could be the method of expansion. The translator asked for help. Red Pepper practiced speaking with sarcastic voice. You are the only SAO warehouse manager. Trong Yi said casually. Don't take the trouble to find out. You think I'll tell you. I just hope that from now on, know the truth and stay away from me. If I could kill a whole group of your men, we can also kill the second group. When he finished, he looked at his face full of worry. And the students you took away, You have to give it back to me honestly. Otherwise, we're not going to ignore this. Trong Yip's words angered the Red Lotus. Whatever she is, he is also one of the greatest leaders of Tianhai City, not a weak coward. The threat of Zhang Yi made her so angry that she yelled at the table. Arrogant. Kill us. You have that power. I don't believe that. You're actually capable of controlling missiles. If you're really that strong, the whole city of Tianhai was soon your territory. Red pepper practice continue. Do you believe me now? We're going to cut up all those students and send them away. Yours for you or not. Browsing stand on one side. My heart beats so fast that I want to jump out of my neck. She sent her eyes for help. The movement also became serious. In a serious way. You don't have to do this kind of stupid thing. Those students, it's of no value to us. Even if you kill them, it doesn't affect us either. Red pepper practiced smiling coldly. But that doesn't sound like it. I feel. You seem worried about their lives. Looks like we've got a good hand. The frowning fluid looks difficult. This makes the browser feel restless. You know, you're so nervous just because you want to help. Actually, we don't have to care about living or the death of those students. Salary thought in my heart. Thank you, Trong. You are a good person. Take a breath and ask for the red wine. Those students are our most important friends. As if they were of no value to you. Well, let's talk about this. What do you want to release them? The smile on the corner of my mouth deepened. I was confident that I had caught Zhang's weakness. I haven't thought about. Let me think for a moment. Red pepper, for you. Start thinking about how to negotiate with the translation chapter. Request a translation program. That's not possible because it would lead to direct conflict. You decided to explore. Let's see what Zhang's final limit is. Xiao Hong Training's open words give Trong Loi conditions. You killed my cousin and his men. Now your people are in my hands. I want them to return safely. You have to give me what you have in exchange. I know. Previously, the warehouse in South Africa was in your hands. I only need half. It's easy to forget the conditions. Give me half of the supplies. I will give you back. And the killing of my cousin will be erased. We're not related to each other anymore. You say that, but you think. If you accept this condition, that would show that he's stupid. At the same time, this also proves that, after the battle with Tay Sun Base, the plague is exhausted and no longer able to confront Yang Huang Base. In the face of lion-like temptation, the epidemic of outright rejection, it's impossible. Don't dream. He spoke coldly. If you agree, we only have the way of war. You think I'm playing a child's game with you or SAO? Smiling and laughing, but after fighting the Tay Sun Base, you have also been weakened, right? Further, according to the information we have, you didn't just kill people from the Yangtze base, but also the people of the Million Weapon Base. We can link up with the $1 million base to attack you. Then you think, I have enough power against the coalition of 2 large bases. No. Smile and say, do you think that? Your base is stronger than the West Mountain base. Haha, what do you think? But I have to tell you, you don't understand my power at all. If you really want to die, come here. I will not miss. A piece of armor. I will break your stupid pride. The epidemic continues, but you don't have to target those students. They're not worth anything. I hope you can give them back to me. I speak with pride. I only need half of your supply. This price is also very reasonable. Don't wait until it can't be stopped. You will regret that it is too late. The more you listen to Trong Yi, Red is even more suspicious. Are those students really that important? If not, why do we not stop demanding them back? If you just say, give it back, I will, then we're not losing face. He laughed coldly and said, unless you accept my conditions. Otherwise, we don't need to talk anymore. Red Pepper practice frown solution. Don't underestimate people too much. Those students are also innocent people. If you have anything, come find me. Those students are the ones we value. I will not allow you to hurt them. If you dare to torture them and make them suffer, I will make you pay dearly. Red training confident that I have grasped Zhang's weakness. Feeling very complacent. You see, they are really important to you. The more you say that, the more I don't want to let them go. I want to torture them so badly that they can't live or can't die. And this is all because of you. Listening to Red Pepper, said Trong Yi, thought silently, you have to kill the students. Do you know how annoying theater we are? The conversation ended in silence. The Red Cross cut off the conversation. Flapped the table furiously. What a contempt for others. If you have anything, come here and face me. Don't be angry at the innocent students. The young man stood up assertively. We can't continue to be so passive. Now, we will immediately depart for the Yangtze base. Save people. Look towards from Fat and Uncle View. This time to the base. It's not like the last time we attacked the Tay Sun base. We don't have the weather advantage, geography and people. So you don't have to go. This has nothing to do with you. We don't want anyone involved. Everyone was startled when they heard Zhang Yi say that. People who understand Trong Yi, I find this a little strange. But when Zhang Yi decided to go to the Yangtze base, as if accepting death, they naturally want to stop. That's true. Kai Ni and Yang Mi in a hurry can promote the epidemic. Don't act impulsively. If you go now, not only can't save people, you may be in danger yourself. Yang flourishing base is not inferior. How is Tay Sun base? Moreover, they are prepared. You're just going to find yourself dead. Fat words whispered only two people can hear. The old man seems to have crossed the line. The show will be a bit ridiculous. He faked it for a while and then sighed. They don't really see us. In front of our eyes to catch them. Students' salary approvals. Strong youth punch down salon chair. I promised my salary. We'll help her protect these students. Why can't you do it? Emotive browsing. Come closer and gently place your right hand on your shoulder. Expand translation. You don't have to be in a hurry. It's not your fault. If we're to blame, we didn't protect them well. Pay attention to the translation. Who are trying their best. This time I was facing a strong enemy. It's no longer a situation can be solved with just a few more mutants. If you really have to deal directly with the ocean, they may have a defensive advantage, but when the attack becomes weak. Because from the beginning, the company has spent almost all its resources for the defense. Van Co Manor. She said you did your best. I thank you. But none of this has anything to do with you. I don't want to bother people. Salary browsing stepped softly, but the look on your face, it made Zhang Yi feel that something was wrong. Salary, what are you going to do? To browse, casually speaking. I want to find a place that belongs to my soul. After saying, she doesn't care about the other people in the living room. Turn your back to your room. In the living room, and everyone feels that. The mood of browsing, there's something wrong. When the salary goes away, the child is worried. Maybe they want to rescue them themselves. SAO, I can't understand what you're saying. Maybe what I just said didn't impress her. Smiling fat words came closer and said, Old man, your acting skills are NDTO but look too fake. On the forehead, there is a false black mark SAO. At first, we could win a ba in the competition. Performance contest at Hoa Hoa preschool. From fat sighing, but what matters is the words from your mouth. Even though it's very clear and powerful, who will believe it? Look around everyone, and they all nod their heads in silence. He can extend his hand. At least I've expressed my support for her decision. Uncle Wang said this is not your fault. Among us, except for salary, no one has a relationship with those students. More, they're not only lacking in skills, they're also very lazy. Holding them back not only doesn't help, but also cause trouble. Even the view. Someone who's always kind has to say the same. Show the Kier student group. It's not very popular. Of course this. Also related to the previous experiences of 6. Nature and Yang Xin, Han. Go to the salon chair. In short, we all know that there is a high probability of war. All the defensive measures. It was carefully prepared a few days ago. Don't worry too much. How to spend red training just showing off attitude. It also shows that they do not understand the power of we. Everyone agrees to nod. I have a little worry in my heart, but not much. Even though SAO they had defeated the Tay Sun base, and the line was firmly entrenched. 6 possibly looking in the direction of salary approval. Go away and worry. What is your salary now? Put your hands on the chair. Tell me about you and Yang. You to go and convince her. Don't let her do anything stupid. 6 suddenly sighing. But I'm afraid I can't convince her. She is very gentle, but also stubborn. Not easy to change. Campaign of encouragement. Let's try to see why. We can only get this far. 6 Revelation nods reluctantly, and then with Yang Han to search for browsing. On Zhang Yi's face, there's an extraordinary calmness evident. About the salary approvals, young people have had severe difficulties. Those students are still alive, and you with your faith. No cost to save them. But if those students die, then the thought of paychecks will also disappear. Then she'll just need time to heal. And slowly step out of the shadow, dark. Gradually, she'll also shift this constraint to the translation chapter and his team. Honest people sometimes bring trouble. But if used reasonably, they will be the best helpers and the most reliable. Then Zhang Yi will hold the smallest knife. After returning to the room, the cashier took a sugar cane down from the shelf. Since her Kier sword was stolen by Zhang Yi, brows accept fate and do not require more. However, at the Tay Sun base, she also got a good sapling. Can replace it. Standing in front of the window to browse slowly down the way of Ra. Then use a white towel. Clean the blade. The knock on the door came from outside. Salary is not closed. She turned around and saw 6 Revelation pushing Yang Zhangxin. The eyes of those 2 students were filled with anxiety. You tell them to go back, I've decided. I'm sorry, lady, are you okay? Yang Han stared at her salary. You're going to save the others alone. The way you look makes us really nervous. You can go fuck yourself for them. Why can't we live because we are the same? HN clasped her hand and whispered her salary. We need you. 6 Revelation also continues. You pay us nothing we can do without you. If you always listen to this, keep quiet. Think about it. You and I are normal people. There is no skill. In case of danger in the future, we need your protection. I feel my heart growing stronger, but we can't stand by and watch others die. They are still alive today. They are still alive. Their value lies in you. They can live up to now. It's all because I have feelings for you. Willing to help them. So you can't die. We still have a chance. Negotiate with the Yangtze base. Let's wait a little longer and see. After being persuaded by 2 students, salary approval temporarily abandoned the plan there to confront the rising base. You can only breathe this way now. Yang Han gently nodded. I finally stopped crying and smiling. After advising her to pay, 6 suddenly pushed Yang Han out of the room. Step outside the door. The look on the face immediately changed. Her expression disappeared in the blink of an eye. Become completely calm and rational. 6 curious to ask Tai Han. HNCA really loves her salary SAO. Yang Han grinned and drew a hidden smile. No, I just cheated on her. She's a woman like her. It's always hard to deal with emotions. As long as she knows that someone likes her, she's confused. If you don't do that, how to convince her to stay? 6 Revelation eyes wide in wonder. You're very good at getting paid. Duong Han 0. Everything we do is for her own good. This stupid teacher. If you are not content, you are willing to sacrifice. After a little silence, he added in a deeper voice. But it's really good for us that she stays. The Great Depression doesn't feed the idle. This word makes 6 Revelation startled your face pale. In your memory, Chuang Yi has always been a gentle person. I remember the first time they met. At the School of Heaven, where it's covered in snow. At that time, her eyes looked at her without any warmth. You tell yourself. So let's be more helpful. The epidemic is known that the girls have comforted pay approvals. The young man felt a little relieved. Salary is one that cannot be lost. Not long after, Duong Thi hideout and base, as well as the $1 million base, there may be a big battle. Pay approval with his aptitude. It will be a valuable support. Young man tells 2 girls. I understand. You've worked hard. He looked out the window. The heavy snowfall turned the hideout white. The effectiveness of medicine is also about to appear. At the Yangtze base, after finishing the conversation with Zhang Yi, smile on the corner of my mouth, deeper and deeper. Because of the strength that Zhang showed, that made you realize the reluctance in it. Especially when it comes to salaries and students. His voice immediately became softer. This proves that after the Great War, the epidemic has been seriously damaged for the Tay Sun base and have to hide in place. So Trong did not dare to conflict with Yang Sheng and Million Weapons, two other bases. The second proves that these students are very important to me. Red Pepper training felt. I understood the weakness of the translation, and we can use this to our advantage. The more you think, the more excited you are. Based on what the student said, Trong Yi has some power mutants. If we can get them into our fifth row, the strength of the Yang Sheng base will increase significantly. The family standing next to him also congratulated. Look at the current situation. It's only a matter of time before they agree. I think we should act quickly, embracing the power of translation. If delay, other organizations will not hesitate to act. Practice raising your hand and don't worry. We should conduct a thorough investigation before deciding the time to act. Remember, we don't just have one enemy. If we focus our forces on the epidemic, the remaining three houses, they may also take the opportunity to attack us. They all want our oil refineries. The Sand family added, but opportunities often come in the blink of an eye, eyes if missed. This fertile land may be shared by others. Continue to use the words, I would rather do nothing than make a mistake. Now at the Yangtze AI base is also worried. Even a small mistake can cost us our lives. We shouldn't just pick up sesame seeds, but lost the watermelon. They hastily bowed his head. Yes, I will obey your orders. So what do we do next? Red Pepper exercises his back in the chair. His face showed thorough preparation. Sure, Trong Yi is very interested in those students, so let's make him miserable. Send someone and teach them a lesson. Then take a video and send it to Zhang Yi. Besides, collect 10 all information related to the people around the translation chapter. We need to understand their defensive power. Before acting, never underestimate an opponent. We can't accept 7 defeats. Gia Sandbar family nods yes, leader. He bowed to the Red Pepper to practice one. Then slowly and quickly walk towards the cellar. After entering the cellar, the family saw the students carrying explosion-proof ring on neck. With a desperate face, he smiled a cruel smile. Go ahead and take out an ROI Ratri. It's time to welcome our guests. In an appropriate way. In Wu's desperate eyes, Dance and others, the guards dragged them out of their cells. The family tortured them with their own hands. It causes terrible pain. Execution is a sophisticated technique, a small negligence that can cost a victim their life. My son is an expert in this field. He knows how to inflict unspeakable pain on his victims, without killing them. This time, the goal is mainly to see it hurts him mentally, and facilitate further negotiations. Therefore, this performance needs to be deeper and more complex. Like throwing them in an iron bucket full of worms, or wet caves filled with cockroaches. In the cellar, the cry of love never ceases to ring. It's not just physical pain, it's mental pain. Out the bars sigh a soldier. Lift up the camera. Record the whole process. But in the meantime, he realized something was wrong. A student suddenly fell to the ground, his mouth trembled. Spray out dense edge foam. The soldier holding the video suddenly exclaimed, "Oh! What's going on?" Though SAO, these students are also important chess pieces. You can't die easily. My son believes in his skills. Never let the victim die immediately. He stopped and watched carefully. That student, after vomiting foam mouth, suddenly spitting out a large amount of blue solution, and at the same time, the stench came from him. This is the sandbar standing too close. The smell made him dizzy, and he took a few steps back. The students are on the ground, body twitching increasingly intense with pants. Both urine and feces flow out. They've been poisoned. The family immediately realized that. This student, there are typical signs of being poisoned. And the poison worked. With current medical conditions, they can't cure him. His eyes were filled with confusion. Why are they poisoned? This is not a reaction to food poisoning. Food poisoning does not cause such a severe reaction. It's clear someone poisoned them. The sand is still thinking. Then quickly, several other students also appeared. Poisoning reaction. Family sandbar family feel the scalp numb. If these people die in their hands, he's going to be hard to explain. He hurried to get out the transmitter. Report this incident for red pepper training. What's poisoned? Pink pepper practice frown. To realize that these students are still useful to you. You can't let them die like that. Is there any way to save them? The bar immediately replied. The doctors diagnosed that toxins in the bodies of these people has been deposited for a long time, and that AI gave them chronic poison. It seems impossible to save. The poison in them was so heavy that 2 people died. If it's in the past, good medical conditions can be saved. The silence in my heart. They struggled to bring the prisoners back, but they're all dying. So what's all their effort to do? There is a mystery in his heart. It's also becoming clearer. At SAO, the Highlands satellite phone was again in the students' room. Obviously, they didn't kill the Highlanders. Someone deliberately wants to get rid of them. But it's not convenient. We should use our people. The Sands thought of this. Colored pupils are screaming for trouble again. We've been conned. We're becoming someone else's tool. I still don't understand, so I asked again. What do you mean? The sound continues. These people are chronically poisoned, then deliberately placed in magnetic resonance. Use of the Highlands satellite phones. It's like a trap to attract us. We don't know the exact purpose of the other person. But obviously, this is a well-prepared plan. After listening to red pepper training questions. But why do they have to do that? Relying on a group of poisoned people to harm us. It doesn't affect us at all. A few seconds later, I realized, the epidemic itself wants to kill these students. It's not easy to get into your own hands. Red wine and sand does not know that. This plan wasn't aimed at them in the first place. It's just using them as a tool. But red pepper training, with the principle of taking advantage of every opportunity while they are not dead. Please record the video and send it to Zhang Yi. If the poison in them wasn't caused by him, we will use this opportunity to harm him. At the hideout. After being persuaded by Yang Xin, Han, and 6 wages have also gradually regained their spirit. You don't act impulsively by holding the knife to find a flourishing base to risk his life. That decided to have a close discussion with the translation chapter. Let's see how to get people's lives in exchange. After the conversation with the paycheck, expand translation. We're also waiting for active contact from the Yangtze base. Not long after that, indeed, Zhang Yi received the request. Chat from the Yangtze base. This time it was a phone call. After Yang Xin Han called the epidemic, Operation Control Room closed. There's only 2 of them in this conversation. When the translation chapter is connected first time, he sees the shape of the other. in front of my eyes. He's not the leader of the Yangtze base. Red Pepper. It's a tall, thin man with cold eyes. The day has passed. I don't know how you thought. I contacted you today to send a gift. Help you make a decision quickly. Family Sand with a cold smile. Let's finish and bring a paragraph VI into the conversation. That's clearly the image he recorded. When you're chopping corn into balls and others. Standing in a circle, silently watching. The face shows no emotion. After watching it, the young man asked calmly, "Are they alive?" This cold attitude, to make the Sands family feel surprised. Even yesterday, when I was on the phone, the community has shown great interest in life. The death of students. But today, his attitude and tone were completely different, showing candor and contempt. The Sand family said in a low voice, "They are still alive today. It's not clear how long they can hold out. Our leadership campaign has changed its mind. The retention of these incompetent, it's just a waste of food, so we've decided to give them back to you. But in exchange for them, we're asking for supplies. Each of us needs 1 tea of food." Before the opponent's lion-snatching skills, the nurse still has a thoughtful face. It's not non-negotiable. But first, we need to confirm they're alive. Or we'll just get a bunch of bodies. After giving you the supplies, it's not a loss. The surgeon put some medicine in the food. Based on the words of Zhu Kai Ni, the drug will start after a week. However, for safety reasons, he wanted to confirm that all those people died for peace of mind. The Sand family thought, many students died. The rest of us just survived. If you see them, I'm sure he'll agree to the exchange. However, he still tried to talk. The man you saw is alive. Before strong tone translation, it's just an image we want to see of the living. Take me to see them now. As long as we confirm they're alive, I will arrange food for you immediately. The cat stared at the screen. Facing the chapter, translation continues. Yangtze base doesn't play boring circus. We don't need the lives of these people. Why kill them? Your worries only add up. Raise your hand if that's the case. Why don't you give me a look? Just look at one. However, I can't wait to let him see. Because you only have to look at one thing to know. Expand translation. I can't feel any sincerity on your part. The Sand family wants to say more. As Zhang Yi pressed the end of the call button, the young man assured Yang that they were dead. The action of Jia Than Din has proven this. I was curious to ask the CA. How did you do it? Trong Yip replied casually. We've added a little science, technology, and cruelty to their food. Yang Xin breathed a sigh of relief. It's great to have a bright smile. That way people won't be involved. Swipe your head these 2 days. Should take care of browsing a little. Help her build a strong psyche. Don't let her think negatively. Women need a lot of attention and comfort. Yang Xin tilted his head. He looked at Zhang Yi with a playful look. When the CA appears directly, it will be much more effective than us. Chung Yip frowned. You mean I should open up to her a little? Yang Han laughed. This will definitely work. In killing people, you have to use the emotional knife. He responded in a humorous way. But I'm afraid it'll make me stupid. Remember to keep this conversation a secret. Don't tell anyone who nods. Don't worry. I understand. In the following days, the hiding place is as peaceful as ever. The women playing mahjong, chatting about little things. But now, they're trying to pull browsing into the conversation. Help you relieve the sadness in your heart. And men, they have a gentle attitude, but they don't neglect it. Waiting for the war to break out. It's the defense that they've been preparing for. There's not much left to improve. At the Yangtze base, finally, the toxins in the students' bodies were fully developed. And they all ended their lives in pain. Family Sandbar family reluctantly. I have come to Red Train. Report to you about the incident. Now everyone is dead. We've lost the card in front of Zhang. Translated to oppress him. Frown your eyebrow. Even though I predicted this possibility, but still feel dissatisfied. She raised her head, her eyes beautiful but powerful, staring at the sands of the family. Except for the war. We have no choice.